Hey everyone, D-Dub Squizzy here, and welcome back to Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition. So, this time we're not playing the base game. So this is going to be Swordflight, a playthrough of Swordflight. So for anyone who's not aware, Swordflight is a series of modules created by, I cannot remember who. I'll leave more information like how to find it in the description, unless I get flagged for it again, but that's the plan. Essentially, it's taking everything that the Aurora engine's got, and that it can have, and is taking advantage of all of it. I've played through it all the way to the end of the 5th chapter, which is as far as it's gone so far. There's one more chapter planned, I believe. And so, it's not a finished series yet. But I've played it all the way to the 5th once. I've played it up to the 5th chapter, like I have another character that's in that. I've played through the first one and parts of the second one with a number of different characters. I haven't played it like so much that I know every little thing about it, and I've not played it through with every kind of class. Just a couple of them, honestly, just like a fighter and some divine magic users for the most part. That's it. And so I wanted to play through it with videos. It's a lot of fun. It has a very, very challenging combat, and essentially rewards you no matter what kind of a character you build, unless it's just terrible at everything. Every kind of skill that's in the game that normally has no use in the main campaign, there will be a use for in this. A generally pretty consistent use. Even things as generally worthless as like the forge armored weapons, you can actually upgrade stuff in specific areas, and you can use your knowledge to figure certain things out. Every race and class has different responses in the world and stuff, and it's fascinating. Now the story revolves mainly around a companion that you have in the game. It's not really about your character, but it really works well because that companion's kind of helpless without you, honestly. It's something in her blood that's valuable and useful, and you get roped into helping her one way or another. So it takes you all the way from level 1, which is where it starts at. It's supposed to, I'm assuming by the end of the 6th chapter, all the way through level 40, which is the max of the base game. With the character I finished number 5 with, I think it was level 36 or 38, somewhere in there, by the end. And so you get up there. And let me tell you, gameplay at that level with enemies that are scaled to that level is so much different from even the end of Hordes of the Underdark. My paladin that I played through is the one that's all the way at the end, chapter 5, could curb stomp everything. I mean, more than you already would. Like, it wouldn't even be funny. He'd be so overwhelmingly powerful. That's what it's like at the end. And he's not even a very well min-maxed character. It's just someone that I played. Now, it's very difficult, so I'm not restricting myself in any kind of other challenges or restrictions or anything. I'm keeping max HP on level up, but the difficulty is staying at hardcore, because frankly, if you don't set it at hardcore, balance of the entire game is going to get thrown out of whack. So that's the plan. Now what I intend to play is I think I'm going to go with a half-orc, and this might not be a great call. I want to go with a half-orc barbarian druid, which I know, weird. Yeah, that'll work. I'm going to do... So essentially my plan is, I think, go probably 15 levels of Barbarian and 25 Druid is going to be how I'm going to try to split it. I don't know if these classes will mix. I don't know what kind of synergy I can expect to have. I have never played either a Barbarian or a Druid for any more than a small length of time, in even the base game. So it'll be a lot of new experience. And I've not played any nature characters through Swordflight yet, which every kind of class gets their own types of quests. I know Barbarians, Druids, and Rangers have some nature stuff that they do. Rogues have their own thing. Sorcerers and Wizards have their own. Paladins and Clerics get their own. And then Bards, I think, are with Sorcerers and Wizards. And then Fighters have their own thing. And I'm assuming Monks piggyback on Fighters, but I've not played a Monk yet. And I think even some of these Prestige classes have their own stuff. But I'm not sure about specific quests, just kind of interactions and things. But what you play actually matters. So that's the basic plan. I've also never played a half-orc very far in any Neverwinter Nights game, so it'll be interesting. Can't take lawful neutral. Alright, we'll go with true neutral for the start, and we'll see how this goes. So I'm going to need good wisdom. I don't need intelligence. Do I need charisma? Hold on. Important for clerics and druids. Most important for paladins, sorcerers, and bards. It turns out charisma is super handy for paladins, because it vastly influences your... Yeah, I think that's probably pretty good. It influences your saving throws, turns out, which I did not know, but that is pretty handy. You know, I think I might... That gives me 2 more. I think that's probably for the best right there. And then I need to bump up wisdom a lot as I level up. Okay, configure. Discipline. Can't take animal empathy. Don't need taunt or ride, even though you can use them. Parry's probably still completely useless. Has no value at all. Love lore. I played through recently with very little to no lore. It's a nightmare. Yeah, I'll take intimidate. Because those kinds of intimidate and stuff, those are super handy. Weapon focus, I'm going to go with a great axe. I thought about going like a dual wield build and not focusing on any specific weapons, just anything I could dual wield, but I don't know how many feats I'm going to get. I'm a half orc, which already doesn't get as many as normally is handy, and I get no special benefits to dual wielding. So I think I'm just going to stick with this. Do want to check out Barbarian Rage. The +4 morale bonus to strength and constitution, +2 to all will saving throws, -2 to armor class. Once per day at first level, +1 at level 4 and every 4 levels thereafter, extending into epic levels. At 15th level, the rage becomes greater, giving the barbarian +6 to strength, constitution, 3 to will saves. What's its duration? Is there a duration? Huh. We'll see. I'll figure it out somehow. Honestly, I don't care a whole lot about that. I'm probably going to be wearing a helmet the entire time anyway, and be fully armored. Yeah, that's a little ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah, I'd say that's better. Actually, what's he? Well, he's not really blue, actually. I don't know why I thought he was. Kind of pale and like silvery hair, it looks like. Yeah, that works. I'm never gonna see him anyway, but something weird. Nah, 18 works.
The battle is on! To your by my direction, to your let's have a time for a bit of the game. Patch me up. I need healing.
Yeah, that works. Alright. So, I have to be careful. I'm going to give that advice if anyone plays this and has no experience with it. I learned this the painful way. Be careful. Things will kill you without breaking a sweat. You have no money. There are no weak goblins and weak skeletons to give you easy XP. You don't get 3 level ups before you're done with the first module. And I have probably the most hit points you'll ever have at the start of a game. So, be aware. You will get thumped, likely, very easily, and repeatedly, even at the start. Alright, so the innkeeper greets you effusively. Happy to see a new customer. Welcome to the Shifting Sands Inn. I am Salud Sharad, proprietor of this fine establishment. I will be happy to assist you in any way. Do you desire a room or a meal, or are you perhaps just here for a drink? Whatever you require, I'm sure you will find that the Shifting Sands does not disappoint. Adventurers come looking for work. Providing a meeting place for adventurers and prospective employers is one of the many services this superior inn provides. If you inquire among our customers, I'm sure you'll find more than one with a profitable task. There may be a couple of things you'll wish to do beforehand. First of all, in addition to running this inn, I sell a number of goods, which might be of interest to an adventurer. Only the finest merchandise. If you wish to examine them either now or later, be sure to speak with me. I myself would like to hire an adventurer, though only for a brief and simple task. A bit of a problem getting rats more food supplies. I'd like you to kill the rats, and to pay 150 gold pieces. Normally, yes, but the cats I put down there seem to have disappeared. My supplies of poison seem to have been misplaced. I cannot locate them. The matter has proven quite frustrating and perplexing. Yeah, I can deal with the rats. Find them all over the basement, just take the stairs in the kitchen, return to me when you've killed them all. Alright, so as far as I don't even need to see what he has for sale. I can't afford anything. And no, I can't afford anything anyway. Alright. Let's set up basic bar. I don't think I even need to keep a torch. I didn't take power attack either. That might have been a bad call. I'll definitely have to do that next time. Alright. I can't afford a great axe, so I can't get one right now. So there's a couple of quests in the base game. There's one elsewhere, but a couple... Well, you'll see. I don't need to sit here and explain. This is a playthrough, not a walkthrough. These are an interesting addition, though. So, unlike basic Neverwinter Nights, you'll learn very fast if you try to go through with regular tactics. Go try to take something off that table. You'll get some evil points because you'll be stealing. If you're an evil character, no problem, easy money. No one still seems to respond in most circumstances, but if you're not an evil character, you don't want to do that. Amulet. Wow. An Amulet of Will for free. Now that's the kind of thing that you search garbage barrels for, because no one cares if you search garbage. Alright, things down here also apply. Do not loot the basements. People will get mad if you take their stuff. Well, they won't really get mad. The universe will get mad, and then they will punish you. Suppose I don't need this back there. Yeah, let's put it here, probably. Okay. So now, we have what can actually be a pretty rough section. Because you have terrible armor, which means a terrible armor class. Rats have a surprisingly good attack. And they can only deal 1 damage, fortunately. Other things in this module, not so much. This is, in fact, a pretty good tutorial mission. It's the only one you're going to get. Now, I don't agree with every decision that was made in this module. I don't think everyone was the right call. There are certain things that, if I had my way, I might change a little bit. But, of course, I don't know how to make these sorts of things the way that, that the person who made this one did. I'm very impressed with how much work they put into it, and how much better a lot of their stuff is than most other games. Because they actually like Forgotten Realms and D&D and the lore of them, so they get things right. And tie things into other media that people like, even if it's not generally acknowledged as, you know, the canon. Things like Baldur's Gate, which most other, dire rats, terrible creatures. Most other IPs, or not IPs, most other Forgotten Realms stuff, not a big fan of Baldur's Gate. It made them a lot of money. It's got a big fan base, but that fan base likes to keep itself consistent, which they don't like, so most of them don't touch it that much. Kind of ironic with Baldur's Gate 3 having come out. If anyone wants to see me play that, by the way, don't bother, not going to. But this series actually has some tie-ins with it that are pretty fun and kind of interesting. Alright, almost got all these things. And that's not good. Startled by a sudden noise and turn to see a were-rat emerging out of the shadows. He seems angry. What you be doing here? Why you kill my rats? Who are you? Where'd you come from? I'm Wagyu, guardian of rats, and I live in the sewers just below. I'm asking the questions here. Didn't realize one's mind could be so unhinged by lycanthropy. Wagyu does guard the rats. Innkeeper tries to kill them, but I protect. Cats come, I kill them, buys poison, I take. Now you come killing my precious rats. It stops now. Rats will feed here. If anyone interferes, Wagyu will kill. Tell the innkeeper to leave the rats alone. Just can't take over an inn for them to live in. Wagyu can, and he will. You tell the innkeeper not to interfere. If that does not happen, people die. Yeah. Most weapons not even leave a scratch. Think someone like you would not be able to hurt him. Perhaps you're right. I'll go warn him. Yeah, they give you a way out so that... Well, that's not... there we go. No, don't go back in, stupid. You are out. Hey, I'm encountering a bit of a problem here, Wagyu. I got out. How did I do that? How did I get out? I think I might have to reload already. Things like that can happen. That's actually not the first time that's happened in this particular doorway. attack is awful. That's to be expected, though. Level 1. Level 1 characters are not well known for being great at fighting anything. My cleric was alright. He actually was able... I played a cleric, haven't played the whole game, even most of the game, but I've played a bit of it. He was able to kill this thing without having to go back and talk to the innkeeper or anything, because he had enchant weapon. So he had a +1 weapon when he confronted it. I could try to intimidate him, but if that goes wrong, I cannot back it up. And I'm hurt bad. I'll see if I can get a room, because unlike inns in most of this of Swordflight, this one, once you get a room, you can use it as much as you need to for the prologue. Take advantage. I'd like to stay for the night. 8 gold pieces. That actually is not bad for an infinite room early on. They give you a couple of nice things. I will say, though, this game does not hold your hand. And don't go barging into other people's rooms. You will eventually get the guards called on you. Especially if you get violent. Alright, now I'll tell them about it. Rats are gone, they aren't your only problem. There's a crazy were-rat down there, and he somehow got into the sewers and has been disrupting all your efforts to eliminate the rats, threatening to go on a killing spree unless they're left alone. Suppose that does explain a lot. Cannot tolerate a monster like that. It'd be convenient if I could hire you to kill him, you may have thought. Rat's a silly task. Surely the were-rat's more appropriate target. Killing him could be difficult. You need have no fears in that score. I collect lots of odds and ends by trading with adventurers. I'll give you a couple items that should help you. A silver dagger and some belladonna. And he'll pay me more for it. Specifically, I think he lets me keep the dagger is really the only major increase. Belladonna gives you a several points AC bonus against them. I don't know specifically, because it doesn't really say anywhere. And the silver dagger, yeah, +2 versus shape changers. Other than that, just a regular dagger. It probably should, honestly, have some negatives if you aren't fighting shape changers, but I'm good with this. That's a 1d6 weapon. And ×3 crit damage. That could explain why some people use hand axes to such devastating effect. I don't think that'll last long. Ow. Fortunately, he's not a super high level either. Well, I mean, 10 hit points, that's a... He's only at injured. He's not that weak. Ow. Oh, great. I'm dead, aren't I? Yep. And that happens sometimes. Which is part of what makes it interesting. Ooh. And then sometimes things like that happen. This is a very common occurrence at low levels. I get a crit just to have it done back to me. That's the story of my life. Alright, well, we're at dead. Little chunk of experience, but mainly it's the gold at this point that you want. There should be enough XP in the prologue of this to get you to level 2, which is a big deal. As long as you do everything as best you can, even if you don't do some things right, because I certainly didn't the first time I went through. There was a specific pile of XP that I completely missed because I dealt with the problem a different way. And so, but I still made 2nd level. So you can do it no matter what. And there's plenty of XP. You don't have to gripe about little bits here and there missing. You will make it to level 40 if you do the quests and kill the monsters. Whereat's dead. Brandon is difficult. Roundhouse like that. Balance your reward. Increase. It gave me an extra 100. It lets me keep the dagger. Alright. So, now I got... Yeah, so I'd sell that for a bit, but I will hang on to it. Because I don't have any magical weapons. First things first, gimme a great axe. Real weapon. So damage, 1d12 times 3. That's nice. It's gonna be rare that I even crit with it. Barbarian's outfit. Useless. So breastplate is medium, and maximum dexterity bonus of +2. Yeah, I think I can wear that just fine. I'll take it over chainmail. Alright. I'll take a stag helmet. Now, it gives me a little money. I can pour the rest into, well, got down to 2 gold. I need to go rest. You know, I never actually wear a stag helmet with some breastplate. That's an interesting look. Yeah, no one gives you any respect at the start of the game. It's kind of funny at the beginning of regular Neverwinter Nights, you start out level 1, and you level up fast, but even before that, they're like, you're at the top of your class, you're great at stuff, and you're still just a level 1 adventurer. If anything stronger than a regular goblin confronted you, then an exceptionally weaker goblin confronted you, you'd die instantly. But everyone treats you like you're all that. None of these people do. Dwarf is quenching ale at a prodigious rate and boisterously proposing toast to his comrades, but he pauses to greet you. Hail and well met. From the look of ye, I be guessing you're a fellow seeker of adventure. I'm Gleber Swiftaxe, warrior cleric of Clangadin, and leader of our little band of heroes. You're an adventuring party, that we be, and who might you be? Thugger Bluecart. I, too, aspire to be an adventurer. Good to meet you. Good for you. Say hello to the boys. Giddishnak welcomes you. Pleased to meet you, and greetings. Just come from a stint as caravan guards, led a bunch of wagons from Memnon to here, killed a gang of bandits in the bargain. Bandit activity's on the upswing, as you may have heard, but there wasn't reckoning on facing guards with our experience. We were, but that was just to make some money while traveling to Calimport. Planning to catch a ship from here, head over to Lake of Steam, an unsettled region. Be sure to have work. Perhaps we'll make his fortune there, become Lord of the Border Kingdom. I think he's had too much to drink. Drink about a little twice the size of a halfling grunt. Talk as sensibly as ever. All the 2 companions continue their bandit. Elven Wizard turns to regard you. I suspect you did not come here just to listen to us trading insults. Is there perhaps something we can do for you to help get you started on your career? Think you could give me some tips? I believe we could. We could, but first, before we be saying more, I'd like to be asking something. You say you'd like to be an adventurer, that'd be a noble calling, as I for one do not be doubting, but it attracts all sorts of people for all sorts of reasons. I'd be curious what yours are. I'll strive to maintain balance. Yeah, that's reasonably true, honestly. That's probably not what I'll stick with forever. I can do that. Don't myself hold with all that balance stuff. Not seeing how it could not be good to be good. Not that I'd be in the mood for some philosophical debate, just hoping you don't use balance as an excuse for doing evil whenever it's convenient, as I've known some to do. Keep what I said in mind, though. You should do alright. I'm hoping you get started on life adventure. And just get 100 XP for listening. Number of people you could speak to. Innkeeper looking for adventurer. Saw a young wizard pass by. Distressed halfling woman. Both are still somewhere in the tavern. Turned to the merchant Saman Waladi, who's right there. He hired us as caravan guards, will be taken back out. You can also get the cleric to heal you, but you have to pay for it. You have a look of an adventure about you? That is correct. Saman Waladi, a merchant. I run trading caravans between here and the city of Memnon across the killing desert. It's good living. With the recent upsurge in bandit activity, things have become more difficult. Just one of the usual hazards. It does, however, make me happy to have run into such a fine adventurer, so be taking my caravan. I'm naturally looking to hire some guards. Fine pay generous enough, 5 gold pieces a day, plus a special bonus when we reach it. Yeah, that sounds good. Alright. You can rest or relax a while in the tavern, speak to me later, perhaps it'll be time to depart. Clued into this young woman's skin suggests she's an air genocide. She has apparently been hired by the tavern to provide entertainment and is busy filling the room with music. Can't talk right now, but I got a break later. Come back then. Alright, so this would be the wizard. And then that's the halfling woman. They have 2 of the other main quests here. Man is very preoccupied with something, muttering to himself, does not notice your approach. Can I be of assistance? I'm Heldon Kadash, an apprentice wizard. Been traveling in business for my master. Brought me to this inn. He's pretty low level. While I was asleep in my room, an item of great value was stolen from me. Master entrusted me with a tome once belonging to the great wizard Zadaroth. He will be furious with me if I do not somehow recover it. Who's Zadaroth? Why is the book so important? Very powerful mage who lived in Caliport centuries ago. Compilation of magical lore, including many spells he was researching, very valuable to an arcane spellcaster or to certain collectors. Its loss is a great disaster. I do have some talent for divination magics. Recently determined the book is still located somewhere on the second floor. Presumably the thief is also a guest here. I don't know, perhaps he's waiting to meet some contact he'll pass the book off to, whatever the reason he has. Unfortunately, there are a good number of people staying here. Do not know which one's the thief. Even if I did, I doubt I could force him to relinquish it. Oh yeah, contact the authorities. They should be able to determine which one it is. I'm sure you don't know much about this city. Stripped of your title as Reconciler. Yeah, the title thing happens if you have the certain... Because I'm still true neutral, but if you have certain points on alignments, you get certain titles. You notice them in this. I can be sure I can be trusted with something so valuable. I can't. I have a few other options. If you're not an honorable sort, you still have good reason to bring the book to me. You won't be able to make any use of it yourself. Magically sealed doesn't look like you have the power to dispel that. Without the proper connections, you'll find it difficult to sell the book, and holding on to something so valuable and known to be stolen could attract attention. Offering $350 for its return. Alright. I just gotta go find it. This guy is a fire genocide, and pretty powerful. Even at this point, he's not super powerful, but he's definitely stronger than us, no matter what you play. He gets much stronger, I'll tell you that. What is it you want? I'm busy. You don't look busy. Just not interested in talking to anyone. There's some reason I should make an exception. Hoping to talk to an adventurer, and you're a fire genocide. My skill with the sword exceeds your pathetic abilities as much as a dragon exceeds you in size. See, you pretend to be devoted to the arts of combat. By the way you hold yourself, your abilities are laughable, unworthy of the weapons you carry. Yeah, he's just going to insult us for a while. Look at an adventurer. Think you could help me. Expect I could. Brother Bungalow keeps hoping one day he could become a famous adventurer. He's much too incompetent and clumsy to survive in such a profession. With all the adventurers coming through, he's always stopping by to hear stories. Keep filling his head with a lot of ridiculous ideas. Doesn't sound like I can help with that. I'm still getting to the point. Heard a lot of stories about the adventurer Tarshal Durakin. Apparently spent a lot of time at this inn. About a year ago, telling everyone here he found a map to some old castle or something filled with treasure. Soon be richer than Sil Pasha. Set out there, never came back, and is now presumed dead. The thing that interested Bungalow is that before leaving he had hidden some of his extra adventuring gear in the sewers. Just a rumor, but he came convinced there must be all kinds of stuff there. So you want me to go rescue him? If you could, like a real adventurer like you, to go down and find it, bring it back safely. I'll give you a little gold, say 75 gold pieces. I'll give you a couple things that should help you. There are grates all over on the street. There's also access to them from the inn's basement. I'll see if I can find him. And gave a potion to cure light wounds and a remove disease scroll for rats. Good enough. Yeah, don't go breaking or unlocking things either unless you want some evil points. Apparently people take their personal property seriously. Well-dressed half-orc talking to a group of humanoid creatures who appear to be his slaves. At the moment, they provide themselves with crude weapons and are behaving in a most uncooperative manner. We eat the horses. Those horses are valuable property. Sorts of behavior is unacceptable. We don't care what's acceptable. We'll take punishment anymore. I'm orc, kill and plunder, not do slave work. We're not going to be slaves. We'll kill everyone, plunder the city, and raise it. Cause any trouble, city guard will kill you all. Yeah, so this is going to get violent. Yep, die. And then, of course, they will attack me, too. Not every day that you see someone using a whip. Their stuff I can take. Yeah, so anything that's... There's a lot of things that you could find that are implements, that are just like a weaker version of the regular weapon. Not really a reason to have them, they're just -1 versions. Have these villains not forced to divide their attention? I might have been overcome. Those creatures are my slaves. I'm willing to accept such a status. Presence in the city stems from the idea of one of the nobles in the government handling military administration. This noble knew they'd make poor slaves remain very dangerous, but he didn't make money off them. It'd be someone else's problem. You're a half-orc such as I am. You have surely encountered the distrust with which many meet us, assuming anyone with orcish blood must be inclined to evil. Managed to attain a position of some wealth and influence in the city. It was not easy. Many of our kin had an even harder time. I thought if I purchased them, be able to teach them civilized ways, and wean them away from barbaric savagery. Yeah, so we wanted to change society. And naturally, it didn't work. Such things are not really your concern. Maybe one thing an adventuring barbarian can do. Slaves we killed were not the only ones. She wants me to stop the others, pay 25 gold for each head. He's decided he's not going to keep them. Okay, so we have three real quests that we need to get done. My goal is to finish the prologue this episode. So first, we'll head upstairs. Now this is a quest that can be completed by trial and error. I don't believe there's anyone in this room. But it does not have to be completed by trial and error if you have points in Intimidate, Persuasion, and whatnot. But I don't know the success rate because I've never had someone that was good at those things at this time. The adventurer need to speak to you about a robbery. Yeah, there's a lot of these guys that are just in-guest. If you attack them all, like save before and then attack them, eventually you'll find the right one. But there might be another way. Surrender the book or there will be trouble. I don't know what you're talking about, you got the wrong guy, don't hurt me. Just a little test. Volume Magic book has been stolen from one of the guests staying here. Did notice the guest in room 6 was a suspicious-looking halfling. Many halflings are thieves, you know, but of course I really don't know. Yeah, and you get XP for successful skill checks, so it's worth doing. Seems unoccupied. Doubtful there's any reason to go in. This room's not even locked. I think you're in the wrong room. You forget to lock the door. Adventurer, my duty to investigate every place I can reach, search of monsters, leading quests. Investigate that valuable magical book. Don't know anything about that, unless Alana's been stealing books without telling me. Of course not. Now it's time for your silly jokes. Let's say we know nothing about that. Do think the guest in room 6 was a suspicious-looking character. Perhaps we should let our friend here determine that. He's the one investigating. Looks like an incompetent bungler. Well, that's uncalled for. How many times are you going to keep dredging up that acting business? Can I get a word in? Can I be sure neither use the thief? Rich and respectable businessman, one well known in his community, can ask anyone, hardly likely would endanger my position. I would also have little motivation to endanger my status, and I would submit to search 2 under the same conditions. We should call in the authorities ourselves. They would soon clear us. That won't be necessary. It's not them. I'll tell you that right now. Hear movement on response to your knock. If you wish to enter, you must bash down the door or pick the lock. We'll take a look around before doing that. So we'll go one by one. See if I can, by process of elimination, narrow it down. Or find the right one. Okay, so that's 2 that I've not been able to. Job's not worth dying for. Don't know how you found me out, but here's the tome. Beware, I can defend myself. Yeah, I can be a little chaotic sometimes. Rather not deal with thieves like you. But of course, as we heard, yeah, it's not going to be so easy to escape. And evidently, being neutral means this guy is not in the mood to deal with us. Charge! I should probably kill him before that thing starts swinging. Oh my goodness. Ow. At least he's not a powerful mage. There we go. Just a dagger. One of the local thieves' guilds has assigned an agent to recover the tome. You'll meet him at the Shifting Sands Inn. As we discussed earlier, get the tome from him. Prefer the matter be handled without a violent incident that will draw unwanted attention. If you do not return and get the tome, you know your life will be forfeit. And the amulet's gone. I got your book, dude. Here's the tome. Think you can do better? No. Okay. I really don't try that hard to get more money out of people. He's had too much to drink, posturing and threatening, upset about something, not paying you any attention. They throw me out of the Shifting Sands, don't they know who I am? You're from the inn, they throw me out, let someone like you in and outrage, someone's gonna pay for this. I think you're gonna pay for this, that's a good idea. Yeah, 5 gold. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. You can't threaten people like that. I think he means it. What shall we do? Alright. I don't know what kind of a pansy character would give a drunken lout 5 gold pieces just because he demanded it. Even someone who's trying to be lawful and avoid conflict would not do that. You'd threaten him. You'd say either I will kill you or the guards will. Alright, so that's a sewer grate, which is an entrance to the sewers. This should be the back entrance to the basement of the Shifting Sands. Well, there's some slaves. Go for the orc first. Yeah, that's why. Orcs certainly hit harder. 35 damage! Man, a crit with this thing is a nightmare. On them, not me. It's great for me. I'll take the heads. Teleport to a large city, see the street heading off in the distance, your business at the inn. Yeah, restrictions like that are imposed pretty frequently, just because the person who made this did not want to create the entire city of Kalimport for your adventuring nonsense, so they assume some things about you, and will hold you to them. It's hard to blame them. Ow. Fortunately, I don't have to keep wasting healing on these things. I can just retreat and rest. My favorite of barbarians. But you know, I've never actually played a character who uses these things. It's a pretty typical choice. I've never played a barbarian, and usually when I play fighters, I try to do something a little different. I did play one of the greatsword once. That was pretty simplistic. Man, that guy killed everything. But it was not Swordflight. I doubt he'd be as effective in this. Alright, the sewers. This is where the majority of the meat of this prologue takes place. If you ever can't unlock a door, but you can see through it, check for levers. That's probably the answer. Eventually, I'd be able to communicate with these rats. I think barbarians can to a minor extent, but you gotta be a high enough level. I think druids can do it perfectly at first level. Doesn't mean they can control animals at first level, but they can talk to them. I don't know if rangers can that early. I hate dire rats. I do have, 4 is not good, but it's pretty good this early. Like first level of 4 on fortitude. It gives you a pretty solid defense against diseases. The only real assurance is that most of the things that you face are about your level of strength too, so you can actually overcome them. That's not so later on. You encounter some real jacked enemies. But for the most part, it's a pretty well-balanced game. Yeah, and you find all kinds of crafting materials. I actually have a Dwarven cleric who's only in the 2nd chapter currently, but I made him a cleric of Moradin, and one of his, well, really his primary focus, skill-wise as a character, he has some spellcraft and some other stuff, but he's mostly focused on forging capabilities, and so he's really good at it. Okay, this is probably the toughest fight of the module. Not the module, of the prologue. Yeah, that's why. Gotta kill that thing. If he hits us again, we're probably dead. There we go. The other ones can do... I don't know what their strength is, but I don't think it's very high. -1. I think they have a 10 strength, probably 10 or 11. Because if they're getting -1, that implies the only negative... Although they probably get a bonus to attack, because they're smaller than me, too. Who knows? It's not good. But they could still do around probably 5 damage. Maybe 6. Which is pretty much instant death after you've already taken a hit. The fragility of low-level adventurers never ceases to amaze me. Yeah, that rage is not very long-lasting. It's like 3 rounds. I don't get to use it a whole lot. More rats. There is value in this game as well in using the examination function on a lot of things. Not everything does it matter, but reading descriptions of items, characters, and objects sometimes offers pretty vital details in this thing. There's Bungalow. Trapped inside a sewer lockdown. Just gotta rifle through this garbage. Halfman for his doubtless lost Bungalow. Wearing mismatched bits and pieces of armor, scavenged from other sets, wielding weapons would appear to have been common household tools. Thought I'd be stuck in here forever. Well, your sister sent me. Searching sewers for the lost treasure of Tarshal when I was trapped in here by a freakish mischance. How'd you end up trapped? I was exploring, came across a troll. Who knew there was such a creature roaming the sewers? Meant I wasn't prepared to face it. I was expecting rats or something. Earlier I discovered this room. Doors are pretty solid, controlled by levers. Think it was designed as a secure refuge for sewer maintenance workers who run into trouble. Of course, the creatures have to be too stupid to operate the levers, but a lot of monsters are stupid. Fled here, closed the doors with this lever. Troll couldn't get in, eventually lost interest and wandered away. Same lever that closes them, supposed to open them, but after I used it the first time, it jammed. You can see it's old and rusty, and it finally broke down. Couldn't get it to work. Have any leads on where the treasure is? Think I'm going after it? I'm giving up. So good luck to you. Be careful. Troll chased me in here, still around. To answer your question, I don't know anything specific. Sister's waiting for you. Should we return? Let's go. So there's a troll. Now you have a couple of options on how to deal with it. If you could hit it with a mind affecting something or other to daze it for a while, you could do that and then run. You can play around with it with the doors. Any doors. There's not many you can use, but those 2 lockdown ones on the map right near the entrance, those can be accessed from the room that he's in, and the troll is in the last room that we have not explored. He is guarding a treasure chest. The way you're supposed to deal with him is lure him into the lockdown and close the doors on him, because then there's no way out. Oh boy. Rats roll in the moment you get your buddy. Don't take my XP. All 8 of it. It's mine. If I could just hit. Of course he did. Fine. It's only 8. Alright. I'll head back and talk to them when I'm done with the sewers. Man, you don't miss haste until it's gone. I guess that's kind of obvious. You don't appreciate haste until it's gone. There comes a point in this game where you don't find anything that hastes you, basically. Not permanently, not like a status effect as you just have it on and you're hasted. There's some things that can grant haste temporarily, but haste is really temporary in this. Dispel. It has a super short duration. But once you get the item that hastes you, the game pretty much opens the floodgates. And everything hastes you. And every enemy, major enemy of any kind, is hasted by default, which is pretty true to the original game too. Haste is such a major deal. You can't not give it to someone who would be expected to be prepared for conflict. Like, everything would have haste. And so I certainly can't fault them for it. Man, is it nice when you finally get it, though. Another option you can do to deal with this troll is you can stealth it. You got good enough stealth, you could probably just sneak around it and leave. But you really want to trap it. You listen, success. Hear a large creature stomping about. You should approach with care. There it is, and it in fact tells you, if you look into it, it's doubtful you'll be able to defeat this creature. And if you're thinking it's a strong opponent, but using the right tactics you could probably take it out, given how strong they are in normal Neverwinter Nights, you'd be wrong, because trolls in this were made right. As right as 3rd edition, well, as right as this engine can get them. They have a damage resistance to everything but fire and acid. Every type of damage, they absorb like 20 points off of, and then half of whatever would get through that just doesn't do anything. And they hit hard, and they hit every time. Not every time, but pretty consistently. That thing will shred anyone. I mean, even by the time you're like a decently mid-level, a single one of those things is a nightmare to deal with. And so, yeah, certainly not ideal. So what you do is you just run it inside and close the door. And it's trapped. It will devour any rats that are stuck in there with it. Yeah, there it goes. And now you can level up. Let's go with the druid. Okay, so alignment restrictions must be neutral, good, lawful neutral, true neutral, character neutral, or neutral evil. And barbarian, any non-lawful. So if I get too lawful, I can't level up as a barbarian. I don't know if I lose barbarian abilities if that happens, but I can't do that. Druid is no longer neutral, cannot gain levels. Okay, so animal empathy. I need animal empathy. Concentration is handy, I should take that. Spellcraft is nice, but I don't think I'm gonna have time for it. Okay, we'll do 2 animal empathy and a concentration. Oh right, I get an animal companion. I forgot about this. Okay, so level 2 wolf. Why would I ever take that badger? That thing's terrible in comparison. Giant spider. A dire wolf. Holy cow. Brown bear, well, brown bear's pretty nice. 1d3 plus 3. 1d3 plus 4. It does have a couple more hit points. It only does plus 2. It can poison, but it's only got 5 hit points. They all have an AC of 9, which is absolutely terrible. Panther's good, because that one's a rogue. It's not like the others that are all animal. That one has a rogue, so that, well, and that's a vermin, I guess. Panther's a rogue, though, so that it can sneak attack people. I should probably take that, honestly. And it does solid damage. It doesn't have great hit points, but it's alright. We're on a pretty low level, but I'll level up as time goes on. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with the Panther. So weapon proficiency, druid, nature sense, and animal companion. What's nature sense? Druid gains plus 2 on all attack rolls made while fighting in wilderness areas. That's cool. Okay, so Cure Minor. What's Flare do? Make it suffer a -1 penalty to attack rolls. Duration is only 10 rounds. Oh. Yeah, why not? The rest of these, not super handy at the moment. So camouflage. I've never played a druid, remember, so they have some spells I don't know much about. Gain a +10 competence bonus to any hide checks. Strengthens the animal companion, +1 to hit, +1 to damage. Grants the creature the ability to strike as if it were a +1 weapon, so it can bypass damage reduction. Cool. Ooh. Causes 4 +1d4 hit dice of creatures to fall into a comatose slumber. Those with the fewest hit dice, creatures with 5 or more, are unaffected. Grease. Oh man, grease is annoying. I hate that spell. But it can be handy to use on people. I think I should take a sleep. I could go with Entangle, but I'm pretty sure Entangle will affect those who cast it. I could take that. I doubt I'll need it for a while. Don't need Summon Creature at all. Ultra Vision, not super handy. Does let you get through Magical Darkness, I guess, but not a massive deal. I'll take Cure Light Wounds. Not that I'll need it a ton. Cure Minor Wounds is 4 hit points, which is worthless in a couple of levels, but first level, big deal. And let me see if I can talk to rats now. I'm curious. The troll wants it. Oh no, don't. Why are you doing that? I think they're in a staring match. Alright, well, troll's dealt with, and you get XP for locking him in there. You don't get XP for dealing with him in any other way, unless you could miraculously kill him, which you cannot if you play by the rules. And so you should always lock him in there for the XP. Not a huge deal in the long run, but early on, it's worth getting, because you're going to want to level as fast as possible. Alright, so there's Tarshal's stash, which I'm going to have to break into. Alright, so a healer's kit +1. Useless ring, no magical properties, and it's purely decorative. I'll hang on to it. Potion of Cure Moderate Wounds, that's a Restoration Book of Blessings. You have to be good to use it. And Cure Minor Wounds, Light, Resistance, and Virtue. I can't use that, but if you are good, that's super helpful to carry around, because it has 7 charges of Cure Minor Wounds. Super handy early on. Yeah, 7. Those things are unnaturally expensive for how wimpy they are. It's got a bunch of cantrips. It's not worth any real money, but they will charge you for it. Yeah, with my paladin, first time I came in here, I had to open this door, run him in circles, and the big thing here, come around, open the other door, lead him in a big circle, and then close this one just before he got in, and sprint down and close the other one before he reached that one too. And then I used the secondary exit to get to the Shifting Sands basement. Okay, I'm interested in your attempts at communication. The smell of awful is so strong, it's difficult for him to concentrate on anything but food. Sad day. So I'm never going to be great at communicating with animals, probably. But that's what you get for multi-classing. I could just be a straight druid, but I feel like I'm going to want the martial power. No use asking for more, haven't got it. Bungalow will show a better sense in the future, hopefully. Okay, so I believe... Oh, right, the slaves. I go turn in the heads. I can sell what I've got, go to sleep, and then talk to the last 2 people. So, in case no one's figured it out yet, from what I was saying before, Zarala, that bard that I talked to, that's the companion the game centers around. So you have to pick her up before you can go with Walati, and that's how you end the tutorial. The prologue, is by going with Walati. For the number of heads you brought me, you think you should have hunted down all those who escaped. Be no further trouble. And you can take her as a companion, is the idea. So we'll do that after I've sold my stuff and rested. I'm not good, so I can make no use of that. Someone probably can. I've got enough money now that I should be able to afford some better basic supplies. The note, hang on to that note. Trust me on that one. I did my first playthrough just because I felt like I should, and it does pay off. I won't need that room key eventually. Okay, well I can get him to identify this. Amulet of Will +1. I will take that. Ring of Fortitude is really expensive. I won't take that. I don't have much... Do I have any skill in the way of healing? I think I did. No, I don't. I don't have the points to spare, because my intelligence is terrible, that's right. I should probably have changed that, but I didn't have a lot of skill points to go around. That's the disadvantage of playing a half-orc. So I don't think he's got anything else I really need. Minstrel, Artificer, Animal Handling. I will take those. Could take some boots. Well, I get some decent healing, just as a druid. I'll take some reflex boots. Why not? I don't really need a Ring of Fortitude, given the choices. And then I can put whatever else I've got into healing. Summoned once per day until killed or unsummoned. I don't think that hurts you the way that a wizard's familiar does. I'll find out, definitely. Never had one die on me, because I've never really played a druid. I won't need that again. Alright, so let's grab Zarala. Young Bard seems to now be taking a break from the performing she was previously engaged in. Seen you running about the tavern looking busy, got an offer for you. You're an adventurer, right? I've always dreamed of leading a life of adventure myself. I'm a bard. The best way to really get a reputation is to sing of noble deeds you've seen firsthand. I'd like nothing more than to lead a life on the road as part of a band, learning the history and musical lore of exotic lands, gaining fame. Things are complicated by the fact that I was born into a wealthy noble family. It gave me access to a first-rate musical education, but on the downside, daughters of nobility around here aren't exactly expected to perform in taverns or wander about in a monster-infested wilderness. Father would not hear of my leaving to pursue my dream. Make fun of me if you want, it's worse than you can imagine. All my father cares about is increasing his power and wealth. I'm just a pawn to help him do that. He was planning to have me married to the harem of some noble with whom he wanted to make an alliance. Stupid and cruel brute, my father didn't care about that, only his political connections. I wasn't going to put up with the scheme, ran away a couple weeks ago, life's been pretty tough. Me short on money, trying to stay one step ahead of the hired thugs father has searching for me. To get by, I've been taking temporary jobs. What I've been hoping for is to become an adventurer. I'm not stupid enough to think I'd have much luck with that on my own, since I don't have much experience. Trying to find a party that would let me join, but no one seems to think I'd be much help. Heard this was something of a gathering place. Alright. Dwarf and his friends were nice about it. Clear they didn't think I was good enough to join them. I'll try to get that Garrett fellow. Tried to get him to hire me as a henchman. Started saying something about me not being worth it, even lick his boots. The conversation went downhill. So I'm talking to you. You're an adventurer. Don't seem to be so quite high and mighty. That's because everyone is rated as impossible, so I can't be high and mighty. You won't even have to pay me anything. I'll expect you to use whatever loot we find to help equip me. Probably not going to do that either. I think my bardic talents could be a good complement to your abilities as a barbarian. I don't think you'll find too many adventurers desperate enough, sufficiently cooperative to take orders from you. Keeping the line could be a lot of trouble if you aren't really that skilled. She tries to persuade me. Don't be so unreasonable. Adventure is dangerous enough without charging a dungeon by yourself with no backup. You can try a will save. It won't work no matter what you do. I know you have to take her, so I'm curious what even happens if you do that. So they make you decide to be good or evil? That seems like an odd choice. I won't complain about it, though. I'll be able to get it back on track eventually. Time to depart yet? Indeed it is. Been looking for you. Caravan will be soon ready to depart. We're just about ready. How many bandits do you suppose we'll kill? This is Sarala. She's a henchman. Once you depart, you'll not be able to return to the inn. Be sure you've completed any business before agreeing to go. Almost ready to depart for Memnon. Shall we go to the caravan now? Meet up with the other guards. Okay. So that's the tutorial. I keep saying that. The prologue. As you can see, the game, it doesn't make it too hard on you, but it certainly does not hold your hand. Anyone who's ever played actual D&D, it's pretty close to how a lot of real D&D goes. It's a little less ridiculous most of the time, but it has its moments. So Zarala, she's got her basic healing. She has this loot that I think, yeah, lets you use Cure Light Wounds and Sleep, actually. I always forget about that Sleep. And Mage Armor once a day. So that could be kind of handy. Just some extra Bardic talents. These things give her a couple of bonuses just to help her stay alive, honestly. Like some damage reduction. But they don't do a ton yet. Later on in the game, they get better. That's all of her equipment. Don't bother trying to take any of the really good stuff. She won't hand it over. Alright. So that is all that I'm going to do for this one. The next one we'll be picking up, going back to Waladi. We'll take him up on his offer, join the caravan, and continue into the proper part of what makes Chapter 1 what it is. But that is all for this one. So thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one.